Good morning and welcome to the Cloffice. I hope that you're well this morning. I was spending some time in First Chronicles, and there's a lot of really interesting stuff as you work your way through this book. And so I'm going to look at kind of three different chunks that are quite a few chapters apart. First of all, in chapter 5, it's talking about the tribe of Reuben and the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh. And it's talking about these wars that they fought in. And in verse 20, it says, they were helped in fighting them, and God delivered the Hagarites and all their allies into their hands because they cried out to him during the battle. They cried out to the Lord. He answered their prayers because they trusted in him. And later in verse 22, many were slain, like of the bad guys, of the other guys, because the battle was God's. And so here we have this great example of the Israelites advancing and the Israelites being saved because they trusted in God. And so God fought the battle for them and took care of them. They did their part. They came presented, ready to fight, to do battle, but they called on the name of the Lord. They cried out to the Lord, because they were faithful. God helped them and God fought the battle for them. Now, if you jump forward a few more chapters, in chapter 9, here, 9 verse 1, the Israelites were taken captive. Not so good. They were taken captive to Babylon because of their unfaithfulness. So first, God's helping them. They're winning these wars and they're safe. Their people are safe because they're trusting in God. They're calling on the name of the Lord. But they stopped being faithful. They stopped serving the Lord. They started praying to other gods. So God allowed them to get attacked by Babylon and carried off to Babylon to be slaves. Very sad. Then, if we jump ahead again to chapter 12, and starting in verse 38. So here, David is going to be king, and all of Israel wants David to be king. And so it says, David, king over all Israel. All the rest of the Israelites were also of one mind to make David king. And it goes on to explain how joyful they are. And they're all bringing food and they're volunteering to be part of the army because they are so filled with joy at what is being restored in Israel, in the people of Israel, because of David being king, and that's what God said would happen. And so through these three situations of first we seeing God fighting these battles for the Reubenites and the half tribe of Manasseh, and then Israelites going into slavery in Babylon because of unfaithfulness, and then again David being faithful through that whole battle with King Saul. But David stayed faithful and he stayed true, and so the words that were spoken over him came to pass. They don't just, when things are spoken over you, then when God says, this is the plan I have for you, it doesn't just automatically happen. Well, I'm just going to sit back and relax and watch this unfold. That's not how it happens. We have to be faithful. We have to do our part. We have to, when God calls us to do something, we have to do our part, and then he comes in and strengthens us. He comes in and fights the battle, but we have to be ready and we have to do what he's calling us to do. So today, I encourage you to be faithful, to trust in the Lord, to call on the name of the Lord and walk in obedience with him, because he has great things for you to achieve for his glory. So be encouraged. Keep walking with the Lord. Have an amazing day, and God bless.